welcome to Modern Pepper. So today we will be making kimbap. Kimbap is Korean sushi, but it's not sushi in that there's no raw fish or that you have to dip it in soy sauce. Kimbap is made so that all the ingredients sort of come together, so it literally becomes a perfect bite of yumminess that you just put in your mouth, and it's so yum. And today we will be making your traditional beef bulgogi kimbap. If you are not beef friendly, of course you can use chicken bulgogi, and for my vegetarian friends, you can certainly use mushroom bulgogi, and you always have the option to use your finest canned meat such as Spam instead of beef bulgogi. Now I want to make sure that you watch to the end because today's recipe also includes a bonus recipe on how to recycle your kimbap that's about a day or two old and how to eat it and turn it into a really yummy kimbap snack. So make sure to watch to the end. To make the rice for your kimbap, you must use Korean rice or sushi grade rice. You cannot just use like jasmine rice. I mean, you could, but it just won't be the same. So you need to use Korean rice or sushi grade rice or Japanese rice. And if you want to learn how to make Korean rice, make sure to please check out my video on Korean Rice 101 where it covers everything that you need to know to make Korean rice, as well as storing your rice grain when you bring it home from the supermarket. Now to make the rice for kimbap, you need to cook it a little bit al dente. So you want to add a little bit less water than you normally would. So I want you to meet my best friend. Her name is Cuckoo. It's your Korean rice cooker. Cuckoo is an electronic pressure cooker that makes your rice, and it makes the rice in so many different ways, and one being making rice for sushi. So there's an option here where you could press. It says kimchobap. That's for making kimbap rice. So she talks in English, she talks in Korean, she talks in Chinese. So if you are in the market for a really premium, high quality rice cooker, I mean, Cuckoo is it. And there's other makers out there, and this is my personal opinion. I think Cuckoo's the best because this is like my Maytag refrigerator in that it is on 24/7, and I have had this particular rice cooker for more than 5 years. No problem whatsoever, and I use it all the time. And one of the best things about Korean rice cookers, especially Cuckoo, is that after the rice is made, it stores it and keeps it warm for days, and it still tastes like it was just freshly made. So that's how you can really tell on the quality of the rice cooker. But anyway, I will do a separate complete review of Cuckoo rice cooker. So when you make kimbap, you could do a stovetop, or if you happen to get a Cuckoo rice cooker, you could set it to sushi setting, and you'll have like that perfectly al dente rice that you need to make kimbap rice. So for those of you that are interested in Cuckoo rice maker, make sure to check out my recipe blog for today's recipe, and I will have that link available in the description box below. So if you're interested, check it out. So I have about 10 to 12 cups of rice in here. As soon as you take it out, fluff it like by going sideways and up. You don't want to chop it or mush it down. Just fluff it so that the rice starts cooling down. It's very hot right now, as you can see. And to this, we're gonna add a few pinches of salt. And then a tiny drizzle of sesame oil. Less than half a teaspoon. And I have 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Then you wanna take your rice scooper and just lightly mix it. I can't tell you the fragrance of the sesame oil just like steaming and like creating this amazing aroma of like nutty taste. And I don't mean like peanut butter nutty, but it's just like this smell of this like really buttery, kind of nutty and kind of really creamy smell. Oh, I love sesame oil for that. But I want to say, don't put too much sesame oil. When you put too much, it could kind of go sideways and taste a little like too oily and too kind of bitter. So it's always important to taste. So have a taste. Make sure it's seasoned. So chewy. 쫄깃쫄깃한 맛. It makes like really like chewy taste. Because the rice is al dente, it has this like extra chewy taste, and that's what we want. It should taste slightly salty. So the amount of salt I added earlier is perfect. And just like a slight subtle taste of that sesame oil and olive oil taste is what you want to achieve. Not overwhelmed by both oils. So what you need to do next is take your cheesecloth and just cover your bowl. The reason for doing this is so that we want the rice to cool down, but we don't want to lose too much of the moisture, but we also want to let some of the rice moisture escape as well. And we want to sort of cool this down so that it is room temperature or slightly lukewarm. You never want to use hot rice to make kimbap. That would be a disaster. So we're going to put this to the side and prepare the rest of our ingredients. Now I want to make a quick announcement. So next week's video, I'm going to share with you my 2 favorite ways to enjoy kimbap other than the Bulgogi Gimbap, which is my all-time favorite. Tuna kimbap using canned tuna. It sounds a little bit odd, but I guarantee you it is so yum. And kimchi cheese kimbap, which is super good too. It's just like a medley of kimchi and cheese all together in your mouth. I'm drooling in my mouth right now thinking about it. So I'm so excited to share that with you, so make sure to tune in by clicking on that subscribe button you see at the corner right there. Click on that so that you will be notified when I upload my video on making tuna kimbap and kimchi cheese kimbap. So here's some bulgogi that I just cooked. Make sure to check out my video on how to make bulgogi, because that video includes how to make beef bulgogi, chicken bulgogi, and pork bulgogi, and for my vegetarian friends, mushroom bulgogi. When making traditional kimbap, it is really ideal to use bulgogi in there. So after you saute it, you want to make sure your bulgogi is in small pieces so that you could easily line it up when you make your kimbap. So I'm using scissors, kitchen scissors, to just chop everything up like so. So put this to the side and make sure you bring it down to room temperature or slightly lukewarm. And you definitely don't want to use hot bulgogi to make kimbap. Now I have a platter of some ingredients that I put together already. So we have some Korean spinach here, and I also have a video on how to make Korean spinach, so make sure to check that out. And we also need some cucumber. Cut the ends off like so, split it down the middle, and then cut it in half again. And what you want to do is just remove the inner core of the seed, because we just only want the actual crunchy part of the cucumber, so like so. And here's our last one. I'm gonna put this on our plate, and I'm gonna make a lot because my family loves kimbap, so it's only once in a while that I make it for them. So anyway, you could adjust the quantity of your ingredients according to how much you want to make. And we need some carrots. So we're just gonna cut it in diagonal long shapes like so. And then you're gonna stack 2 of these at a time and just cut them into thin strips. Julienne your carrots, like so, and then put them on your platter. Typically, you could either saute your carrot strips on a frying pan with a little bit of salt, pepper, and some oil. But what I like to do is just keep my carrots as fresh as possible, because it's so good as is. It's crunchy. It's actually sweeter when you don't cook it. I prefer not to saute it, but if you want to saute it, you could certainly do that. What you always need when you make kimbap is some Korean pickled radish. This is called 단무지. It usually comes in long tubular strips like this, or some of them come pre-sliced. So you want to just cut it down the middle like so, and cut it again. So cut them into long strips, like so. So these come in yellow usually, but they also come in white. So really there's no difference in taste. It's just either or is fine. When you buy these, they usually come in big sizes, and you don't end up using all of it right away. So what you want to do is put the rest of this in a Tupperware and put equal parts of water and brown rice vinegar so that the radish is kind of submerged in that liquid. And then put your lid on it and then store it in your refrigerator and keep it in there for a couple weeks and enjoy it. Now, this is my other favorite ingredient to add when I make traditional kimbap, is imitation crab meat. And usually I'm not a fan of imitation crab meat, because the real is always better. But when you make kimbap, having a little bit of imitation imitation crab meat, it just does wonders. I mean, it really does. It makes it taste so yummy, and it doesn't taste fishy at all because it's imitation. So if you go to any Korean supermarket or Asian market, go to the freezer section and there'll be a handful of selection of these imitation crab sticks. And my favorite brand is this one, the Japanese one. It tends to be a bit more juicier and I think tastier in my opinion. So it comes in a packet like this, and there's this like plastic wrap. You take it off and you split it in half like that. And we're gonna use one crab stick for each roll of our kimbap. And these are actually really good scrambled with eggs too as a side dish. And I'll do a video on that another time, but it's really good that way. So our platter's almost ready, and look at the colors, it's really pretty. The only other ingredients that we need now are some eggs. To make our egg, take a large non-stick frying pan, make sure to preheat it at medium temperature, and I have 3 eggs here, and you just want to lightly beat them. So beat it so that you're whipping a lot of the air in here. Add about half a tablespoon of olive oil. Make sure to evenly distribute the oil like so. And pour our egg in here. So move your pan around to cover the entire base of the frying pan with the egg. Slowly. And remember, the key is to have the frying pan at like medium temperature. You don't want the heat to be so high that it'll start like burning the egg. So we want to slowly cook the egg like so. And then take your spatula and just kind of tap the outer rim so it kind of doesn't stick. So you see it bubble over, you just tap it. You want to just gently pick it up, go underneath, and just pick it up and flip it over. And if at this point your egg breaks apart, no need to worry because we're going to cut them into strips anyway. So at this point, I'm going to turn off my heat, add a little bit of salt, like so, and a little bit of black pepper. And we're going to pick up our egg like so and transfer this to a plate. And let this rest on your plate like so for a couple minutes until it becomes room temperature, and then it's ready. Okay, once your egg comes to room temperature, what you want to do is roll it up like so. And then put it on your cutting board. Take your knife and we're going to cut them into 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. It turns out to be long strips like that. And look at that, it is ready. Now the other thing you need is this bamboo roll. This is what you use to make sushi rolls, and they also come in silicone. So I will have links for this that you can purchase online, along with all the ingredients in detail and written recipe instructions at my website at modernprepper.com. And I will have the recipe blog link for today's kimbap recipe in the description box below, so make sure to check it out when you are ready to make this. Do you see me now? Or don't you see me now? So this is our other star ingredient. We need toasted seaweed to make our kimbap. Now this is sushi grade, so if you put it in front of your face, you shouldn't see anything. And this is for everyday meal that you would have with rice, and it's very thin, so you should be able to see me a little bit. Some of my friends ask, well, why can't I use this to roll up kimbap? So if you try to roll up kimbap using this sort of thin, everyday toasted seaweed, it's not gonna hold up. It'll just bust right open, and then you'll end up having just like a complete mess of kimbap ingredients everywhere. So this is for everyday use that is really good, that people snack on now, or I just love to have it with just rice. Plain rice with some kimchi, so good. And a little bit of avocado. Those 3 ingredients together, so yum. So try it. But today we're gonna use this. And if you go to a Korean market, you'll see that it says Kimbap Kim, if you could be Korean, or any sushi grade toasted seaweed will do. So here's our rice that's been resting nicely. And I'm using half brown rice and half white rice, and that's really up to you. So when you look at your sushi grade seaweed, you'll see that one side is a little bit rough and the other side is a bit shiny. And what you want to do is make sure the rough side is facing up, and you always want to have a little bit of water on the side here to wet your fingers and grab your rice. And then you take your rice and you just want to spread it like so. And you want to put it so that you're covering 2/3 of the nori seaweed with rice. And now some people make the mistake of like pressing it so hard that they're literally squashing the grains of rice. And that's the last thing you want to do. You just want your rice to be kind of here, covering most of the seaweed. Make sure to spread it evenly like so. And gently pat it down, gently, ever so gently. And you want to take a few pieces of your rice and just press it down in the corner. This part you could press it down a little bit. So it's kind of, you're squashing the rice. And this, we're doing this so that this becomes our sort of glue to seal our kimbap when we roll it up towards the end. So press it down and squash the rice. We're gonna take our strip of egg, like so, put it down. We're gonna take our beef bulgogi and lay it across. Try to keep all the ingredients about equal amount. And then we're gonna take our spinach and just pack it down. So you're building a mountain of ingredients. So just kind of pack it down as you go. And here's some carrots, like so. And our imitation crab meat. And our pickled radish, 단무지. Ooh, it looks so pretty already. And our cucumber. Now, how you start rolling is you want to grab the end tip like so, and your two thumbs are under it. Your fingers are holding your ingredients down, and you just gently bring it up, and then you roll it, and you stop right here. Just squeeze gently like so, okay? And then you roll a little bit more, and then you squeeze. So I'm folding the bamboo over like so as I roll forward and squeeze gently, and again, gently, and you go all the way like so. And then you turn it over and roll it up like that, and then just squeeze gently. Don't be so aggressive that you're breaking the skin of the toasted seaweed. And then voila. So the seal part right here, you want to make sure you put it face down on your plate, and then you want to take some olive oil, not sesame oil, because you don't want to over season with too much sesame oil. Rub it on the tip of your finger and just gently coat it like that. And let this rest on your plate for at least 5 minutes. And just continue rolling more. Look at our kimbap. That looks so good. It's very important that you let your rolled kimbap rest for at least 5 minutes so that all the ingredients and the rice, everything has an opportunity to sort of like get to know each other. So now that it's been resting for 5 minutes, we're gonna start cutting. I highly recommend using a serrated knife, or you could use a chef's knife, but make sure it's uber sharp, and have a little bit of olive oil in hand. And you also want to have some wet paper towel on the side, and I will show you why. Make sure the edge part is facing down. And just firmly hold the kimbap in place and take your serrated knife. Don't press it down, just back and forth like so. And put this to the side. And same thing again. Look at that. Does that look pretty or what? And now, by the time you cut your third slice, your knife is all like, you know, starchy. So you want to take your paper towel and just wipe it off like that. Okay, and then you could dab a finger of the olive oil and put it on both sides like that. Not water. Water is the enemy when you're slicing your kimbap. So a little bit of olive oil like that, and then go down again. Like so. Ooh, so pretty. You know, back in the day, every time you would go to like a field trip at schools, all the moms would make kimbap for their children. And so it was known as the picnic meal to have. Okay, look at that. And wipe your knife again and just continue cutting the rest of your kimbap rolls. When you cut your kimbap rolls, the ends, This is the best part. I mean, this is the part that everyone kind of waits around and hope that they get lucky and have one of the end pieces. The end pieces are so good. So yummy. So the end pieces always have the extra ingredients that stick out at the end like that. So therefore I think it's tastier because you just get more of the yummy ingredients. And when you eat kimbap, you don't dare to put it in soy sauce. I mean, it is made so that it's perfectly seasoned that you don't need any condiments. The real umami way to enjoy sushi too is never to dip it in soy sauce. That's like slapping the chef on the face. The real umami way to have sushi is that it is prepared so that it literally is a biteful that is perfectly seasoned that the chef made. So again, no soy sauce dipping when it comes to Korean kimbap. So remember that. This is so good, I'm gonna eat it before my children come and take it away from me. Cheers! So look at our tower of kimbap. It's so beautiful. Such a treat to have kimbap. And kimbap is not something that you would find at a traditional Korean restaurant. You could find kimbap at 분식점, which is Korea's version of sort of fast food, but it's not like processed fast food that they sell there. But you know, when you go to 분식점, they will have kimbap, they will also have tteokbokki, and you know, tteokbokki and kimbap, like they kind of go hand in hand. If you have tteokbokki, you would have kimbap and vice versa. So if you have not seen my video on how to make tteokbokki, make sure to check it out because I also make the spicy version that everyone loves. And I also make the non-spicy version, which is the sort of the fancy royal court tteokbokki, which is super good too. And it's also great if you're not a fan of spicy food. And also cheese tteokbokki. It is divine. I cannot even explain to you in words how delicious cheese tteokbokki is. So kimbap is made so that you're supposed to consume it right away. But if you don't consume it right away and you put it in the refrigerator, then you try to eat it the next day and I guarantee you that it will taste like rubber and then some, and it's so not appetizing. So you could try microwaving it, but it will turn into just a blob of like, ooh, it's really not good. So I'm going to share my tip with you on how to recycle your day-old kimbap. Make sure to preheat your frying pan and add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Make sure to coat the pan. I have 2 eggs. Make sure to beat your eggs like so. And then take your day-old kimbap, soak it in here quickly, and then put it on your frying pan, like that. Ooh, does that look good or what already? There we go. And here's our last one. And let that brown on each side for good 2-3 minutes. So it's been cooking on medium heat for 2 minutes, and just flip it over. And our last one. Now let this run for another 2 minutes or until golden brown on the other side. So here is our recycled day-old kimbap that we turned into a delicious egg patty. It's so good. I highly recommend making a dipping sauce for this, which is uber easy. Take equal parts of water and soy sauce. That's a tablespoon of soy sauce and a tablespoon of water. And you take half a tablespoon of brown rice vinegar and add a little bit of green scallions on top just to garnish. And I have some chili threads. In Korean, it's called shirgochu. And this is just like a pretty garnish, and it just has a little taste of that chili pepper, and it's not spicy at all. Now, our dipping sauce is ready. And I will taste this for you to make sure it's good, okay? So I'm gonna dip it in here. Ooh, this looks so good. So nice and crunchy. It's hot. This is so yummy. So yummy. Now the taste of the kimbap that we all love, plus the warm egg batter that's on the outside, and then everything's nice and moist, but it's still a little crunchy and warm. It is so good together with this dipping sauce. It's slightly salty and vinegary, and it balances out the egg taste. So good, such a good combo. So I'll have to finish this for you. This is so good. This is a tip that I want to share with you because kimbap is precious. You never ever want to throw away on eating kimbap. That would just be sacrilegious. So you can freeze them, roll them all up, double, triple wrap it in saran wrap, put it in your freezer, thaw it out the night before in the refrigerator, and then you can make this the next day and eat it as another meal. It's so yum. I want to thank everyone for watching, and if you enjoyed watching this video, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up, so make sure to click on that thumbs up icon. And for my new viewers, if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe to my channel because I would love to cook with you again. And next week, we will be making tuna kimbap loaded with Korean vegetables. It is so good. And we'll also be making kimchi cheese kimbap. Yes, kimchi cheese kimbap is so good together, so you have to give that a try. So make sure to click on that subscribe button you see at the corner right there. Click on that so that we can make tuna kimbap and kimchi cheese kimbap next week. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope you try this recipe at home and enjoy it with your friends and family. And until next time, happy kimbap time with your family and friends. Bye now.